What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another Game of Thrones, a card game, 2nd edition video for you from Worlds 2017, brought to you by these awesome supporters of the channel who donate to the channel on patreon.com/Rob's Gaming Table. We've got Chris, Martell Banner of the Rose, aka Hyper Viper, versus Lennart. I'm sorry, Lennart, if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Cool dude, met him at Worlds, awesome guy. But playing Banner of the Wolf out of Martell. And Chris is an okay guy. Not a cool guy. He's just okay. Just kidding, Chris. Just kidding. All right. So Hyper Viper on the left. Dirty Martell Wolf on the right. I'm warning you about the Hyper Viper now. So if you don't want to watch this business, tune away now. I wouldn't be mad if you just slap the dislike button and close the window. But these Hyper Viper decks were running wild there on day 1A out of the two first days at Worlds. A couple of them made day 2, which we are at here. So this is round 7 on day 2. So there's 2 days of Swiss at Worlds 2017 for Thrones, Wednesday and Thursday. And then they went to a day 2, graduated cut, played 2 more rounds on Friday, then cut to a top 16. So this is round 7. Only one match from round 7 going to be posted, though. I had another match, but the player on the losing end of that game didn't want his match to be posted after I recorded it because he basically got smashed. I watched the video. It was not pretty. It was rush deck on rush deck, and one rush deck saw all his things and basically jumped to 10 power after the first round, which was pretty nuts. But anyways, wheels within wheels, flipped on the Hyper Viper side into Counting Coppers on the Banner Wolf side of things. We see that beautiful Martell mat there on the left side from getting to the top, I don't know, what is it, top 8 at Gen Con. You needed to get that in the North American Championships. I believe it says it in one of the corners of the mat there, but it's covered up by the plot. Maybe it was top 16, you get it, top 8, top 32, I don't know. So we see he's got Lats of the Giants there, Hand's Judgment, Bear in the Maiden Fair, Vengeance for Elia, Dornishman's Wife, and Nightmares, all revealed from Wheels Within Wheels. He's going to put one back to hand. I don't know if he did already. And the rest are going to go face up in the discard pile. I have no idea why they'd want to do that. I'm just kidding. It's for Annals of Castle Black, so he can just unlimited play events out of his discard pile during that round, like it's going out of style. He's going to take Last of the Giants back to hand, and the rest are going to the discard pile. So no setup on the Hyper Viper side of things, which is not, I guess is normal. But on the other side, Nymeria, Bastard Daughter, Flea Bottom, and a Rose Road.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I've already drawn 5 cards. So.
Oh, I have plot phase actions. I have plot phase actions.
Oh, sorry?
So we had a little miscommunication there. Lennart went ahead and drew 5 cards.
Danny?
No plot phase action for me.
I had a plot phase action, and he drew. What do we do about that? He drew before I did my plot phase action.
Yeah. Well, I put in the 2 cards back to the deck, but maybe
mix up your hand at all? Do you know which 2 cards it was?
Did you have a look at my hand? I was just putting these 2 cards back to the deck.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we had a goof up here. So Lennart drew his 2 cards. He put them back on the top of the deck. Chris had some plot phase actions.
Should I draw these 2 cards, shuffle, and you draw 2 by random, and I shuffle them back?
I don't know what we do. I'm not a judge.
Your choice.
We have. He drew before we did plot phase actions.
Yeah. And yeah, well, then I put in the 2 cards back, but he didn't have a look at me. Yeah, well, it's on camera, I think, and I'm not sure what to do now.
So let's hear what the judge decides here.
Okay.
Yeah, he drew before we went through the action windows.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you want to play?
Yeah, I've got an action.
Yeah, and you want to play Beyond the Maiden Fear to my deck?
I don't know where I'm going to play it, but I just need to know what we do about him drawing before the action phase.
So I think Lennart's trying to come up with a solution here for Chris, but Chris says he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't want to make the decision. He wants the judge to do it.
Cards you drew, you mix into your hand already?
No, I didn't mix them. I've just drawn them and have not mixed them.
Is these 2 cards for sure?
No, three for counting coverage, and the 2 off the deck I draw and put back.
I wasn't watching. He drew, and then.
How many cards are there?
So now they're trying to figure out if Lennart really put the cards back on the top of the deck, but I think we saw him do it.
But,
But you know what
I probably should have edited all this out, but this is kind of interesting. I want to know where it goes.
what these cards are.
Would you agree that he put them back right away? Is those 2?
He doesn't.
I don't know. I was looking at my cards and.
So what I will say is,
Well, I
would do
will
a game
promise you
warning,
it are these blue
Okay.
cards and it's in camera.
Yeah. Okay.
and
Sure.
if you want, you can go to Dan. He'll give you a different answer. But that's gonna be my answer, and then I'll
Okay, so what are we
pass
doing
it
now?
off to Dan.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So they've been given a game warning,
Yeah,
Shuffle that so you don't
so
know the top
shuffle.
2.
and they're going to shuffle the deck.
You have a warning.
So he doesn't know what cards are coming next, at least.
Bad things will happen.
So it looks like he just said, I draw 5, and then drew the 5 cards, including the 3 from counting coppers. They can count his hand to make sure that he's at the right amount, and he really did put the 2 back, which I think they did.
No, you're
And then they're just going to draw the cards. But obviously that makes things a little awkward here going forward. And Lennart's saying, hey, it was on camera if you want to check, but it's filming, and I'm not exactly going to stop the filming and roll back for them to go to a, a recap and then go in slow motion here or anything like that while we're playing. It's not fair to the other tables that aren't being recorded, so they have to play like the camera is not there. So we're Bear in the Maiden's Fair on the Hyper Viper deck here, seeing 2 Dornishman's Wife, the Red Viper, that Tyrell event that lets them draw cards. I forget what it's called. And then the Iron Bank has its due. What does Chris want to draw into next? That's what he's got to think through.
These are 6 cards. These are 6 cards.
7.
7. Ah, yeah. Okay, because only one.
Congrats on day 2.
Thank you.
So the players are getting their day 2 prizes there, which is the acrylic double-sided card, one side Fealty, one side Lord of the Crossing, I believe.
Yeah, that is.
Extended art. I missed out on day 2, going 3 and 3, so I did not get that prize. Sad face. But pretty cool.
I'll put them all back.
So he's just going to put them all 5 on the top, switch around their order, I think, there, but putting them all on the top. He wants to see all of them at some point. So then they go to draw phase. Lennart gets 2 fresh new cards there.
No draw phase action.
Okay.
Well, at least that happened in the first round. They set the tone here to let each other know when they're passing action windows and stuff. Hopefully the communication stays up and no one rushes ahead here and they play it out clean after this. But I think we're okay. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If these are your first time seeing Rob's Gaming Table covering Game of Thrones, if you like these Game of Thrones videos, hit that like button. If you want to be notified when more videos go up, because we got tons coming from Worlds here. This is only the day 2 Swiss. We got top 16, top 8, and top 4 videos coming. And I even had a third camera in there for the top 16 and top 8, so I have some extra games from that round. So make sure you hit that little alarm bell button beside the subscribe button to be notified every time a video goes up or when we go live. And I've also been posting some L5R coverage from Worlds. If you're interested in that game, go check that out. All this stuff should be in playlists at Rob's Gaming Table on YouTube, if you don't want to miss it. And always feel free to leave comments below and share these videos on social media. It always helps out the channel. And you can donate to the channel by clicking the link in the description below. Any amount helps. Always appreciated. Offset the costs of traveling to tournaments, my time editing and filming, all the equipment, the cameras, and all that business. Traveling to Worlds wasn't cheap. Surprise, surprise. So we had 120 something players, I think, total for Thrones. I could be wrong. Across the 2 days. So not a bad turnout for Worlds. It's like we had a Dornish Fiefdoms knelt there on the other side. The Banner Wolf side of things getting extra gold. And another Desert Scavenger into play. So against this Hyper Viper, you got to play fast. Either rush them out before they get their turn 3 or turn 4 combo where they drop the Red Viper down. Beef him up to a bajillion strength. Power him through, trigger his ability, and get to from 0 to 15 in like 1 round.
Free challenge.
You got to rush and beat him for that, or you got to disrupt the combo.
No challenge.
At least is the way I understand it. I had to play against it once in the Swiss on day 1A, and I did beat it. Basically getting a range... I think the key was getting the range trigger off and kneeling the Red Viper. He did have a seal of the hand so he could stand back up, but it wasn't enough to get him to the total power. And then I followed it up with a Valor to kill the Red Viper and then just powered through and closed it out in the 4th round. But let's see what happens here. Is the combo going to get disrupted? Is the Martell player going to rush through to the win, having all these characters with no round? I doubt it. Or is the Hyper Viper going to get his combo together and go from like 0 to 15 in 1 turn? That's basically what's going to happen. I understand if you want to skip ahead all the way to the end of the video to see that. Because I was warned when I put the camera down at a Hyper Viper match that I probably shouldn't film them. Because they're probably pretty boring to watch. I wanted to film at least one. And this was one of the top tables in this round. And Chris is a great player. And I think Lennart's a great player too. I'm not sure if he's a European champion of some sorts, but he is coming over from... I forget. Sorry, Lennart. I can't remember if it was Spain or Austria, one of those. I can't remember. I know he told me. I'm so sorry. So Dominance action. We got Last of the Giants. Bringing in Viper. And Iron Bank. Going to return Nymeria, I assume?
Who's the target?
Nymeria? But I will...
Sure.
So Nymeria goes back to hand no matter what. Could be Hand's Judgment. Chris has a Hand's Judgment to stop the gold generation, but it's not going to happen.
Okay.
I'll pass action.
Okay. And on the face? Anything? I'll trigger? Sure.
So a ton of gold left over on the Martell Wolf side. Too bad he wasn't playing long plan there to keep it to the next round.
Alright.
So 3 power on the Martell Wolf side, 0 power on the Martell Rose side.
9.
Okay.
Big fat empty board on the Martell Rose side. No locations, no characters. The way I hear it explained is they're basically playing solitaire over there. And as the opponent of a Hyper Viper deck, it's really boring when they get to the whole plot actions and they're drawing tons of cards and manipulating their decks, and especially when they hit that turn with Annals of Castle Black and they're just like playing events out of hand, playing events out of the discard, bouncing characters back, getting gold, drawing more cards, drawing more cards, drawing more cards, searching, trying to put the combo together. It's just drags out, and it's really boring as an opponent to play against, to be honest. And my understanding is a bunch of these guys, they team decked it. I think 9 players together, plus other players brought it. And the understanding is they were trying to get Annals of Castle Black banned, errated, restricted, something like that. Trying to show how broken that card is. It should have a limit on it, in my opinion, to be honest. So they can't just, use wheels within wheels twice in a row to just fill their discard pile up. I'm okay with combo decks. It's kind of cool when they can put a combo together. But once it starts getting too consistent and it's really boring for your opponent, and it's not tough to beat it, but the fact that everyone's now has to play certain cards in their deck just to make sure in case they bump into it, they don't auto lose. I don't know. I don't think it's really healthy for the game, to be honest, but that's just my opinion. I said to Danny when I saw him at Worlds, just watching the opponents of these combo decks was a theme I was saying. As players were complaining about it, I just said, look at the opponent's face as they're playing against the opponent who's sitting there trying to get the combo together and doing their solitaire thing, searching, going through the cards, drawing, dumping stuff in the discard. Basically just action after action while you're just sitting there in the draw phase, just waiting and waiting and waiting. So you can start marshalling some guys and doing some challenges. The cool stuff in Thrones. They always just look disappointed, worn out, bored. Just not impressed with the game, not having fun. No one was smiling. No one was having a good time. And I pointed that out to Danny, the designer of the game. This is my 2 cents. It's just, combo's okay, but just look at the players playing against it and not having fun. And, Thrones isn't always about fun, Stab your opponent and kill their dudes and wipe their board and that kind of stuff isn't always fun either, but at least it's kind of playing the Game of Thrones. So we got a second Wheels Within Wheels, dumping down 2 Dornishman's Wives. What's he got? Nightmares. A Rose of gold. Is that draw event that I was forgetting what it was called? And he murdered his children there. And a gift of Arbor Red. So we see the discard pile at the top of the screen there, filling up with events, 7 events. So far, he's going to put 5 more in there, put 1 back to hand. Is he ready to drop into Annals of Castle Black on turn 3 here? And he took a Gift of Arbor Red back to hand, I believe.
Yes.
Which allows him to just dig more into his deck. So the Dornishman's Wife's pretty good when you don't have any characters on the board. They usually have more cards in hand, so they don't get that, but they have less power than their opponent. So 2 out of the 3 triggers they get. So Gift of Arbor Red right off the bat. They're each going to reveal 4 cards.
We have to reveal.
Reveal 4. Yeah, and then I choose 1 for each.
Yeah, but we have to reveal both at the same time.
Yeah.
Or okay.
I think so.
So it's not that first your 4 cards and you choose.
Yeah, it's both. It's both.
Okay.
So much and more played here. They're both revealing 4 cards. And Chris on the left here chooses a target for both players. What goes back to hand?
Yeah, well, not this card.
You will take
So Dornish Fiefdoms is the choice. Let's go back to the Banner Wolf player's hands. He was joking he wanted to arrow Hota there to bop Red Viper out of a challenge, I'm sure, on his big closing turn. And Lennart was telling me before this match that it was a very bad matchup for his deck. I believe he practiced against it before coming to Worlds, and it wasn't really good for him. So he wasn't feeling too great going into it. At least he's going to have no problem with economy coming up here. But how long will this game actually go? Usually just, like I said, starts their Annals of Castle Black turn in round 2 or round 4. Sorry, round 3 or 4 is what I'm trying to say. So he's got another Red Viper, so he's able to put a dupe on him when he gets him into play, assuming he doesn't lose him to Intrigue Claim.
no draw phase action.
And the Crown of Golden Roses in there, used to attach to the Red Viper to discard a card and give him +3 since he has 3 icons. That's another way to buff his strength up. I think you can do that a couple times.
Play King's Road.
So we have our first card in play here on the Hyper Viper side, on Chris's side. It is a King's Road to help reduce the cost of the Red Viper when he does come into play. And helps them win initiative to make sure that they go second, I believe, on their closing turn so they don't get the Red Viper milked. That's how it was explained to me. So we see Varus Riddle. Varus Riddle was triggered there to double the wheels within wheels. And we have Secret Schemes to draw a card, since there's only 1 in the use pile right now. And there's that Western Fiefdoms that, or Dornish Fiefdom, sorry, that was you grabbed with the Much and More, aka the Arbor Red Gold whatever event out of Tyrell. A Gift of Arbor Red, I think it's called. So Dornish Spy put into play. She's not taking any, obviously only coming in on ambush, I think. Or when she comes into play, she steals an icon, but that doesn't matter right now. Arya put into play, gets a dupe, obviously, face down top card. Now she's got a military icon. Carrying some stealth around. Sorry about the glare. Tried to get him in the best spots I could, but FFG was not the best place for lighting. Lots of pot lights up ahead. All over the place. So it was hard to find spots where it was still bright enough to film, but avoiding glare was tough. So I apologize for that, but did the best I could. It's hard in uncontrolled environments. especially when the place is rammed and all the tables are taken. It's hard to find room between the tables to stick the cameras.
I'll spend one. All Nightmares, Flea Bottom.
So Flea Bottom's been Nightmares here in the challenge phase, getting another event down to the discard pile of the Martell player. And he's not able to bring anyone in to the challenge phase from the discard pile using Flea Bottom.
Dragon's Tail.
So Dragon's Tail, they're both going to draw 2 cards.
Draw 2? Yeah.
Chris being very friendly to his opponent. You know, all cards for everyone here. Cards for everyone.
Okay, so my challenges?
Yes.
And now we're on to some challenges here finally.
No blocks. Any in-challenge actions?
So an intrigue challenge, and usually these guys play Burning on the Sands to just reduce the claims. They don't want to lose any pieces of their combo. So there it is, reducing the claim down to 0. Taking it unopposed. 4-0 now for the Martell Wolf player, Lennart.
Do you have a pre-challenge action?
No. Go ahead.
Okay, past challenges.
Okay.
I don't.
Yes.
And Dominance now up to 5-0. Third of the way there. This Martell Wolf deck doesn't really play anyone, like I said, with Renown or anything like that to really rush it out.
So we take 6.
And more about the long, grindy kind of game.
I owe you 1 card.
And the Hyper Viper has to discard a card here for taxation. Putting another event in the discard pile, I'm sure. Not too sad about that. There's he murdered his children. Used to double the strength of the Red Viper to get him up to those crazy numbers. And since Chris played Dragon's Tail, he gave Lennart some extra cards here. He's got to discard down for taxation also. I think that's what's happening here. Ward, which is useless really. 2 Varus and a Rose Road aren't really great in this matchup, I think, so that's why they're going to the discard pile. But he's able to play that Ward out of the discard pile on the Annals of Castle Black turn, so if there is a target, I think he can steal one of those Minstrels is what they usually play. You can steal one of those to the side of the board, which can prevent some extra gold generation off playing song events.
Long plan? Long plan?
Oh, we have 2 long plans played here.
You'll be first player.
So it looks like we're not ready to go into the closing turn here.
Plot phase action.
And it's going to be the 4th round, I think.
Okay.
It's going to carry some gold into that round also.
Sure.
6 and 7.
Martell Wolf player going first here.
Sure.
Dornish Fiefdoms getting an extra 1 gold each. Plays a Rose Road out there.
Pay 1.
And we got another Secret Schemes played here in this round. Kneeling the faction cards. Going to get 2 cards this time.
Drawing 2.
What is he digging for? Maybe he's trying to grab a Bran to help cancel some events. Maybe looking for Hand's Judgment. Maybe looking for Nightmares. All things that can help disrupt the combo. So it's very humbling at Worlds, meeting a lot of the Thrones communities that I haven't met before. A lot of people came up to me, as always at conventions. I appreciate it. You can always stop by and say hi. But I like hearing the stories. It's very humbling. Thanks for supporting the channel, guys, and watching. But the stories about you know, how some people got into the game from watching these videos, show up to tournaments because these videos, you know, that kind of thing. That's why I do it, and I appreciate hearing those stories, basically justifying why I do this to help grow the game and help get people in here to this awesome card game I love to play. So spread these videos on social media, help other people find them. It'll help them understand the flow of the game. If people are new to the game, maybe help them find them. Slapping that like button helps other people find these videos on YouTube. When they're searching around for Game of Thrones stuff, they might bump into it if it just gets enough likes. Just trying to kill time here while Lennart decides what card to play. But yeah, I appreciate meeting everyone at Worlds. Some nice players. Yeah. I don't know if Lennart's maybe trying to kill time here, go down to, you know, waste the whole 55 minutes before Chris can get to his closing round here where he tries to play Annals of Castle Black.
Okay.
And here Chris asking about time. He realizes his opponent's going long.
Pass marshalling.
And no marshalling actions here. Nothing for Lennart. Or, he's done. 28 minutes left in the round, sounds like.
Doing all right.
I was just kidding about him wasting time till the game ended. Well, when you know your opponent's trying to get to that next round to do off of his combo, if you make sure he doesn't get there. Just kidding. Don't do that, kids. No slow playing. But he's saving a lot of money and probably thinking it's going to be more useful next round. Or he's got some juicy ambush characters. And we see he is playing that Dornish Spy. So that might be something that's coming into play. Maybe Hota. Not this round, I don't think. So now Chris is going to take his time here. He didn't take full advantage of his opponent's long marshalling there to decide what he's going to do. Just kidding. So we got, I believe, River Run Minstrel is the name, maybe? No? Two of them put into play. So after you play a song event, I believe it's, so you gain a gold.
Okay. Pass.
Well, it's High Garden. Sorry, I was saying River Run, wasn't I? High Garden Minstrel. Reaction after you play a song event, gain 1 gold. Limit 3 times per round. 1 strength, intrigue, and power. There's 2 big beasts out there on the Hyper Viper side. Well, they're just out there to help get some economy flowing next round. When we see the Hyper Viper put into play, I'm sure a Seal the Hand, Crown of Golden Roses, plus a bunch of events played that cost money. So no challenges from the Martell Wolf player. He doesn't want to feed into the long plane, it sounds like. Maybe he's trying to starve his opponent out for gold, so he has a little trouble putting the combo together next round. That's another way to approach things, I guess. But now he can push a couple challenges of his own. If he loses them, he can get that extra gold. But then again, he can push some challenges at the Martell Wolf player. Since he has long plane in play, he can also get some gold himself on losing some challenges. So now Chris taking his time here to decide whether he wants to do challenges. So it is kind of serious here. It is the final 2 rounds of Swiss. So depending on whether you win or lose these rounds here could determine whether you're making it into the cut. And both these players being at one of the top tables definitely have a chance to get into the cut. Maybe both can get in there. Which is why they're going to take things a little slow here and think it out. This Hyper Viper deck, I've told, is not the easiest thing to drive. Sometimes you have to work with what you got if you don't get all the pieces. And hope to close it out with a little less than ideal. And no challenges. Dominance goes to the Martell Wolf player. He goes up to 6-0, I think. Yep. And we may have a dominance action from the Martell Wolf player. Sounds like he's thinking.
All right.
And no dominance actions.
Sure, we neither. I have 8.
So 8 cards in the Hyper Viper's hand. He's good to go to the next round with no losing cards to taxation. And it sounds like the Martell Wolf player has to get rid of a card. I recommend an event. Oh, but Copy of Aria. She's already duped in play. Makes sense. Oh, he's got to get rid of a few cards. So Bastard Daughter, I think a Blood Orange Grove there, and a copy of Aria are what are discarded for taxation on the Martell Wolf side.
Dominance actions for you? Dominance actions for you?
No, we taxed.
Yeah, we already taxed.
Looks like a Martell Wolf player is carrying, I think, what's that, 4 or 5 gold to the next round here. Maybe more off his long plan. I promise to have some more exciting matches coming up in the series. So stay tuned to that. Don't unsubscribe yet. Lots more Worlds coverage to come. So there it is. Annals of Castle Black on the Hyper Viper side into March to the wall. On the other side, looking to get rid of one of those minstrels.
Oh, yeah, half Dutch.
And Dornish Spy and a minstrel going away. Maybe just playing that 4-8-1, looking to win initiative, which he does.
Nope, no action. Wait.
So the Martell Wolf player, remembering he has events in the discard pile that he may be able to trigger, so he's got to remember that. So he just took a look there.
Yeah, I have an action.
So he's going to do Secret Schemes, makes sense. Get a few extra cards.
So,
And remove from the game, he puts it under his house card there, it looks like.
yes, 3? 3 cards?
Yeah.
Okay.
And 3 plots in use pile, so he's going to get 3 cards out of it. So Secret Schemes every round that it mattered here. 1, 2, and 3 cards drawn. So Baron the Maiden Fair to look at the top 5 cards of the Hyper Vipers deck here. You can put up to 3 on the bottom of the deck. There's 2 Seal the Hands, 1 Crown of Golden Roses. Tower of the Sun, I think it is, the one that they gain a gold after playing events, which would be a big deal right now, I think, and help them get us some extra economy on top of the Minstrel.
2 and 3.
So he gets rid of the ones he doesn't need. And since it was a song, he gets a gold off the Minstrel. And Minstrel is 3 times per round, so that's 1 trigger there. We got to remember that.
No action.
Okay, draw.
And that was just plot phase actions. We're on a draw here.
Draw phase action for you.
Nope.
So I think the Martell Wolf player is going first. So probably not playing Milk.
Bear the Maiden Fair.
And we got another Bear in the Maiden Fair, trying to dig even deeper in his deck, looking for pieces. So he keeps 2 of those, puts them on the top. Gets the second trigger off Minstrel.
How many cards do you have? I have 10.
13.
Oh, so he actually has less cards in hand on the Hyper Viper side, so he's able to get Dornishman's Wife. He doesn't have more. Doesn't have less characters.
Yeah, that's fine.
And they're just putting gold on the Minstrel to remember how many triggers, which is a smart thing to do.
Okay. Any other draw action?
Nope.
Okay. March over.
Okay. I will gain 6 gold.
So the Martell Wolf player is going first, gets 6 gold, gets 2 off of his Dornish Fiefdoms.
Okay.
So let's see what he can do with all this economy. And more economy. Blood Orange Grove. Now the other thing that a Martell player could do, I was just thinking that with Nymeria here even, is remove icons. If he can ambush in a Dornish Spy and get rid of 2 of the icons off the Viper, and that way he's only able to do 1 of his challenges, and they use that Seal of the Hand to try to get 2 off. But if he can remove 2 of them, that limits the options of the Hyper Viper player here. And the hard part against this Hyper Viper deck, they don't really do any challenges, have no characters in there. So he hasn't got any power on his house card, and he doesn't win dominance. So there's really nothing to steal, so it really slows the game down until they're ready to go. So it's making it extra hard for the Martell Wolf player here to gain more power in the previous rounds. But with the most passing constantly in their challenge phase, that's another thing that slows it down. And there's Bran Stark. Some juicy event cancel. You just can't play Hand's Judgment to stop. Could see a Nightmare is used on Bran, maybe. Just try to blank him or get him out of the equation.
Okay.
And it looks like he sits on the rest of his gold. Over to the Martell Rose player for his marshalling here. And let's see the show here. Let's see all this dirty business playing events out of the discard pile. And Dragonsail to draw cards. He's getting those pieces into play here. Of course, he does it after his opponents finish marshalling.
I'm not cancel Dragonsail. Okay.
No cancel from Bran. And we got the second King's Road into play, so Viper's going to be basically 1 gold after those 2 King's Roads are popped.
How many cards do you have now? I have 11.
11.
So he needs to get a card out of hand here to go underneath of Lennart's hand count. They're both tied at 11 cards, so if he wants to get the extra off of Dornishman's Wife. And there he marshals out a Minstrel. So he's got 3 more triggers on Song Events to get extra money. And she does that, of course, before he does the Dornishman Wife, which I think he has all 3 in his discard pile.
Dornishman's Wife. I believe you have more of everything, so...
Yep. So, 2 golds.
2 gold?
1 card.
1 card?
And 1 power.
So he gets the 2 gold, a card, and a power.
Trigger here.
And gets an extra gold off the minstrel. So third minstrel trigger. Second other minstrel trigger. And boom, tons of money just like that.
Bear in the Maiden Fair.
Okay.
So Bear in the Maiden Fair digging for something else here. Another cool way I've seen them get economy of this Hyper Viper deck is they'll Last of the Giants in marshalling, bring in someone big like Varus, and then just play Iron Bank to put him back in hand and get all the money off of that character when they use only 2 gold to put it into play. Kind of gross.
3 on top, 2 on the bottom. Trigger.
And we get another gold off playing a song.
Yep.
Dragon's Tail.
Another Dragon's Tail here. Drawn cards, the cards he just manipulated to the top of his deck there. And the opponent's going to take a nap while he's doing this.
Still the same.
Dornishman's Wife, all 3 going off again.
1 card.
One minstrel trigger this time, though.
Trigger. So we know they're both.
Yeah, okay.
And both minstrels are done there, so they're just going to clear the tokens off. And look, the Hyper Viper player has power on his house card.
Same conditions.
Another Dornishman's Wife. Draws a card. Gets power, gets 2 gold. And there we go, 2 King's Roads popped. And there he is, the man of the hour, the Red Viper.
Viper.
Surprise with a dupe. Another dupe.
Who would guess?
I know. 3.
And 3 gold spent to get a seal of the hand out on him. Sure, we'll see the Crown of Golden Roses played.
This is your discard pile. Thank you.
Sorry, I think game will be over after the round anyway.
Right.
This way or the other way. And we have
If
a
I
lot of
lose, I'll
visitors
give
here. So may I get something to drink?
Oh, yeah.
So Lennart realizes that this is going to take a while, and they're going to end here in this round. Most likely time will run out, and this will be the last round of the game, no matter what. Either Chris will close it, or he'll miss and it'll end. So maybe they won't hit time. But either way, either the combo goes off or it doesn't. So Lennart's gone to grab a drink. Well, Chris continues with his marshalling here, deciding on his marshalling actions. I guess not playing anything until his opponent's back.
He went to get a drink.
Just running over to the water fountain.
This is probably going to be the last round, one or the other, so.
So yeah, either way, if they hit time, it's the last round, so they'll finish it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Thanks. Yep.
And he's back.
Last of the Giants.
So last of the Giants, here we go to get some extra economy. Or not, actually. Oh, it's marshalling, yeah. So he's put in the High Septum, I believe it is, to help ward off things that are targeting the Red Viper. He takes it instead.
So we are in challenge phase.
No, this is marshalling.
So he's doing it marshalling, yes, and I see why. I'd be confused too. I remember when they did it with the Viper in the marshalling phase, I was like, wait, what? You're putting the Viper in now? It doesn't make any sense. Or not the Viper, Varus. Varus in with Last of the Giants.
In marshalling. Just because I wanted to know, what are you afraid of?
Huh?
About what are
Yeah,
you
see,
afraid
Lennart
of?
doesn't understand what's going to happen
I'm
here.
not sure. Why are you doing this in marshalling?
Well, you'll see.
Okay,
Do you,
okay.
do you have an action?
Let me think about it.
Sure.
Yeah, Lennart's confused. He's just doing it for economy. He's going to bounce it back to hand with the Ryan Jones event there. Iron Bank has its due. And just gets 6 gold just like that by...
Yeah, give me a second. I need to find out what's going on here right now.
Sure.
In marshalling phase. Okay.
Chris doesn't want to tell him what he's going to do, just in case he has a way of canceling it or something. But, I mean, he could cancel it with Bran.
to have a look.
I guess he could cancel Last of the Giants, maybe. I remember being a little thrown off when this happened to me, but it was using Varus. I was just like, wait, what?
Okay, I'm fine.
I'll play Tithe.
Oh, Tithe. So he battles a character
Okay.
and gets a couple gold for it. Battles a neutral character, I think it is, to get a couple gold. So he doesn't have the return back to hand to get the 6 full gold, which is interesting.
I'll play the Iron
Oh, there's Iron. Oh, wow. Even more economy. Holy crap.
So it's all about gaining gold.
Yeah, there you go. So now he figured it out. It's all about the money.
If I want to cancel this. Yeah, no, it's alright.
Okay.
So no brain cancel. He debated it there. And there we got a gold for the Crown of Golden Roses.
I was thinking about what should
Just
I
an
do?
economy engine.
Yeah, yes, so for sure. Didn't think about this.
Isle of Ravens.
And an Isle of Ravens. That's interesting.
Great.
Do you have an action?
Maybe.
At least they're having some interaction here during all this. Talking it out, making some decisions back and forth. All right. Yeah, at least there's something going on here. I apologize. Not the most fun to watch.
How many cards in hand?
6.
I feel your pain, people. I feel your pain. Unless you're very interested to see what this Hyper Viper does, which I'm always curious. I was curious to see how it worked, and I like seeing them try to put it together and all the cool little ideas. But once you see it once or twice, or you play against it once or twice, yeah, you don't really want to see it again. But will these combo decks bring a restricted list to Game of Thrones that's not just for Melee? 4-player variant of the game. Or should I say like 3 to 6-player variant of the game. You can play Melee and many more players than 2. Crown of Golden Roses goes on a Lord character only. Attached character gains the King trait. Action, discard 1 card from your hand to give attached character plus X strength till the end of the phase. X is the number of challenge icons that character has. Limit twice per round. So he can chuck 2 of his cards to give the Viper 6 extra strength. He'll play that. He murders his children. Another one is the, I guess, using Intimidate on the first challenge from Lord Renly's Ride, I've seen. I don't think he really has anyone in the dead pile yet, though, that I know of.
Okay, I'll shuffle the spy.
So he's going to put the Dornish Spy back into the deck. He's doing that Isle of Ravens, I guess, to basically mess with his opponent's flea bottom options there. I didn't even think of that, but that's a good one. Sure, that's protection against Arrow Hota is another one. So Dornish Spy he's getting rid of so that it can't just remove an icon. Like I was saying before, with Nymeria plus the Spy, that's 2 icons going off the Viper. He needs to do 2 challenges at this point, it looks like, to close out the game. Using that Seal of the Hand.
Nah.
Yeah.
And Chris asking to shuffle the deck here. Pretty small deck, but he's got to shuffle it up.
That's it for my watch.
Challenge phase.
Yep. First action's yours.
Legend of 5 rings.
So we're on to challenges here. Martell Wolf going first.
Call for check-in.
His first action.
Completed deck list at flight control. please do so immediately. Once again, the last call for check-in for Legend of 5 Rings Day 1B.
How many cards?
6.
So if you did what I said earlier in the video and you're just joining us here at the end of the video, hey, welcome back. If you sped through all that business, we're here in the most likely final round of the game. The Annals of Castle Blacksman played and March to the Wall. Martell Wolf players going first here. And yeah, we're about to see if the Hyper Viper goes off. And if he's able to go from his 3 power he has here and get to 15 to close it out. Before the Martell Wolf player can either win here in this round or somehow get to the next round and win then. Viper's got 2 dupes on him, so I don't think he's going to give Valor away. So he may be around another round to help close it out if he can't do it here. And they're thinking through here what actions they want to do. I think the Martell Wolf player, Lennart, is choosing his first action here in the challenge phase or deciding whether he wants to go in on a challenge. Might have a flea bottom action. But we saw the Dornish Spy shuffled back in using the Isle of Ravens. See a burning on the sands in the hand of Chris on the left there. Able to negate the claim of a challenge. Probably debating Nymeria here, stealing a challenge icon. He's probably got to count through the possible strength, what he has on his side of the board, how much he can defend, how much the Red Viper can win by, and how much his ability can trigger to gain extra power. And it's tough. If he takes the wrong icon or the right icon, it could totally change the outcome of the game. I'm sure is what he's worried about. He has tons of money. We could see Hota come in here.
Limit twice, yeah.
There's enough for a Hota for sure. I think Viper can get up to 13 just with the Crown of Golden Roses.
No.
And I think there's at least 1 he murdered his children, maybe 2. Yeah, I think I see 2 up there in the discard pile of Chris at the top of the screen there. So he's able to double the strength twice. I think it's base strength. I can't remember, but we'll see here. I'm sure Chris will tell us as he plays it to let us know what strength he's at. So we're still deciding on pre-challenge actions, I think. And while we wait, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Hit that like button if you like these Thrones videos. Feel free to leave a funny comment below while we're waiting, or just fast forward the video. And the round's actually over there. There was time called by Danny, our judge, or Marshall, I guess, in this case. Designer of the game.
I'm taking this.
Which icon?
So Nymeria is triggering here, taking an icon. Which icon, we don't know yet. But this round will be it. They're going to play out to the end of the round. We're in round 7 of Swiss. We got 2 more videos coming up from round 8 next. And then we'll jump to the top 16. We'll have, I think, 3 matches recorded from top 16, 3 from the top 8, and then 1 from the top 4 that was not on the stream for FFG. All of them weren't on the stream for FFG, the FFG Live Twitch channel. So if you've already watched those, I got more for you. None of them have been posted before. And they'll all have my juicy voice commentating over all of them. Yeah, baby. So stay tuned for that. More to come. So if you thought they were playing a little slow before, now the time's been called. There's no rush now. They can just play it out till the end of the round. It's not like L5R where you completely stop and start working on tiebreakers or anything like that. It just goes to the end of the round. And right now the Martell Wolf player is winning 6-3. But we need to see if we get to the Red Viper combo here. And Lennart's stressing out here. He's stressing out. This Hyper Viper's got his brain in a bind here. He's twisted. He's getting hit in analysis paralysis here. You just need to decide on which icon he's taking. And it's a power icon he's taking. And Chris looking through the discard pile to see what's possible off of Flea Bottom. Oh, and events too. I keep forgetting Annals of Castle Black was played, you know, like 30 minutes ago. So they can still play events out of the discard pile on both sides. Any event that hits the discard pile gets removed from game on either side. So power icon stolen from the Red Viper, given to Nymeria. So at least that's a challenge that's not going to be won by the Viper getting extra power claim. But those minstrels still are, they're huge bodies at 1 strength each and have power icons.
I'll use the Crown of Golden Roses.
So Crown of Golden Roses discards Iron Bank to buff the Viper by 3. I think he's trying to bait out Bran here. And we have 1 gold spent on the Martell Wolf side. Nightmares on the Red Viper, but we know Hand's Judgments are sitting in the discard pile of the Hyper Viper player, Chris. But he does have Bran in play, which could cancel that. And we do have the Hand's Judgment played, spending a gold. And then Bran canceling Hand's Judgment. No answer for that, it looks like, in the hand of Chris here. And I don't think anything in his discard pile can stop it either. So shutting the Viper's ability off completely stops a ton of power gain. And they're playing till the end of the round, so if Viper's not allowed to gain enough power... Oh, and it's over! Chris gives it to him. And he concedes. Lennart takes it. He wins. Wow, I didn't see that coming. That's crazy. And, yeah, that wasn't the ending I'm sure you guys thought was coming. But, yeah, Hyper Viper stopped dead in its tracks there with the Nightmares and Bran combo. Bran Stark, key MVP. So congrats to Lennart. The top 8 games coming up next. Like I said, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, leave comments below, share these videos on social media if you've seen I haven't. But yeah, thanks a lot for being here, guys. I appreciate you just watching, but if you want to donate, click the link in the description below. Tons more Worlds coverage coming up from Thrones. You know this is the place to be. Lots more Thrones coverage coming up on the channel. Sword Champs starting up soon, so yep, we'll have more. All right, see you in the next one, guys. Thanks a lot.